Hello, this is Gene. I thought I'd talk a little bit about what's happened today and some other things have happened to me. Um, you might actually see in the background there's the TV's on. I have it on Fox. Never used to watch Fox News, but they're out of all of them, they're the least biased when it comes to it. They have enough people on both sides to make you think about certain things. But they're not any different, really, in a lot of ways than MSNBC or CNN. They will go with a topic and just keep going on with it. As most of you probably know, something happened this morning in Alexandria. It looked like that there was somebody that was politically motivated to hurt some Republican congressman. And, you know, it's not very shocking that it happened. Our country is rife with assassinations of political figures. You know, it's been a while since we actually had one, but clearly in my lifetime it's happened. So it's nice that that there was at least a security there for the whip that got shot, and that security, I think, is the one that actually took down the shooter. And they probably saved 4 or 5 congressmen's life. So I'm thankful for that, and I think the entire country owes them a gratitude for that. You may not believe or trust our congressmen, but they are elected officials and they represent us. So if there's a shot against them, it's really a shot against ourselves, and we obviously need to get a handle on this. And as you know, I'm a full-time proponent of free speech, and until we find out who this person was, and now I know who he is, I continually would say that. But then I find out that there is a tie between this person and possibly to my family. Now, I have a lot of family in Southern Illinois, in Belleville in particular. I have several people in my family that have done or running as Democrats and who serve as Democrats on different posts in Belleville. So on my Facebook today, I actually asked that question: does anybody know this guy? Because the local newspaper that my father delivered for the last 30 years of his life, he was actually a paper delivery person in his 60s. So had a article of him, a picture of him, just taking some sort of slogan on his chest about the rich people are the bad persons in the world, and you got to tax them like we used to did, back since under Kennedy and all that. Before that, we needed like 70% of their income, and we find out he's more of a Bernie Sanders supporter. And also, he likes a lot of people that I used to like Maddow and some of the other ones. So clearly we know, at least from an actual eyewitness that actually talked to this individual, and maybe because he was older white guy, the congressman didn't really think what he was telling him about, saying that, oh, who's playing, and he said it was Republican congressmen, that he didn't think that anything was going to happen. There might be some sort of bias there that maybe he wouldn't have said that to a black person. I don't know. But soon after that, he started shooting. But the strange thing of this, I was having a conversation with another part of my family, not the Lachine side, but the other part of my family about what happened with Gold State. There was a little news article that came out saying that they were going to go visit the White House after winning their championship. So I put something out on Facebook, and I said that obviously that the Warriors are not really going up to their namesake. They need a safe space because they can't actually sit there and talk to President Trump. And if I was somebody in their position, even if I didn't really want to go and see them, or because they did it 2 years ago, maybe they didn't want to do it, although KD didn't do that, wouldn't it be the right thing to do to actually talk to him face to face? And I think if they had that thing before they did the celebration stuff, that Trump would have listened, because clearly if let's say KD or I can't remember his name, the last time MVP, Curry went up to the president and said, "Hey, I want to talk about something," and if if Trump would have said, "No, I'm not listening to you because you're whatever," that would have been out in the public square, and everybody was saying how bad Trump is. If he would not listen to a African American who has a lot of followers and stuff, that he doesn't care about African American issues, when I think that he would have actually listened to what they had to say. So I said something about that, and I said, they need their own safe space because they can't deal with a 75-year-old, I don't think he's that old, but 73-year-old man, and talk about issues like this. And you would think that people that support these social issues in the African American community would want them to go up there and talk to the president. Now, after this, we find out that the Warriors are saying that the report is false, that they're deciding before if they're going to go. Now, personally, that they should never even said that because they decided if they're invited by the president, they should go, regardless of who's in the White House. Clearly, they did it back when Obama was there 2 years ago. Why wouldn't they go now? And then I also, at the end of my little statement, my little venting, I said these celebrities, whether in entertainment or sports figures, are the ones that always try to be above everybody else, and but they live behind these gates, and they have security, and they don't really deal with what we deal with in real life. Most people that get killed with terrorism or something like that are not very wealthy people that have guards around or live in gated communities, and all they end up doing is they just virtual signal their thing to say that they're better than everybody else. And for a long time, not to say I believed them, but I understood what they were trying to say, but they really have no idea what it's for the rest of us out here. And it's funny when some celebrities say they don't understand that about normal people. Well, you can't really say that. Ann Coulter can't really say that. Guys on the talk radio can't really say that because these are people that make over $1 million a year. So they all live in places that have these type of securities. I don't have it here. My only security I have is if I had a gun. I'm not going to say whether I have none or not, but I don't live behind something. I don't have enough money to give security to people. So almost everybody, and I don't have a lot of people that follow me on Facebook, but most of them just gave me a like on that. Nobody really responded. But then my uncle, who's on the other side, my mom's side, and he said something, and he always has to talk above me because I guess he thinks he needs to do it. He's a little bit older than I am, but he basically said, "Why?" He said, "Would you have the right to basically say this, or what gives you the right to say something like this?" And I didn't respond to that, and I said what I had to say back to him. And at the end of this, I said, "Thank you for being you, being you." And of course, he got upset with that. And I said, "Whenever I see you again, I will tell you face to face what I mean by that." And then he had to respond to me back, doing point by point to what I said. And I just said, "Look, I'm not going to do this nuanced approach of what I believe." I said, "It's my opinion, and I'll go ahead and say it now. You disrespected me by what you said. Who gives you the right to say that I can't respond to this on my Facebook page?" Now, clearly, if I said something racist or sexist or something like that, Facebook could knock down my comment if I violate any violations of their policies. But clearly, I have the right to voice my opinions, and I don't like it when people comes up and says, "What gives you the right to say something?" Well, I have it under the First Amendment, so I'm going to continue to do what I'm going to have to do. And he responded back to me, but I'm not. I told him I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I don't really care if he says he's sorry for it or whatever. When I see him, if I do see him again, the only time I see him is there's an event, maybe a wedding, maybe a death, that I might see him. If not, it's not like we hang out with each other. When I was younger, he was the only uncle that I really had any time with. but still, it wasn't a whole lot of time. And I'm center left. He's probably further than that to the left. But his ideas or what he wants to talk about, he's one of those type of people who likes to hear himself, like to listen to himself talk. I'm not saying he can't talk well, but he's talking to me like I don't have experience of being around the world, and this guy never did. And what I've seen in the last 52 years of my life that says this is how I form my opinions, and I don't like anybody. I don't care that he's older than me. Jesus Christ, he's like 62. I mean, he doesn't have the moral high ground here when it comes to my expression of free speech. And so I let him know that. But it came all back. It was kind of funny how this all happened today, having these issues with my family. Now, I haven't heard anything back on the other side of my family. If those of us in my family that have dealt with local politics in Belleville, I know these people know him, or they know who he is, because he seems like he's very active in the local community, in the local politics, and obviously if you look on his social media before it shut down, he was clearly into it like I am. I don't think I've ever said anything on any social media that would be some sort of threat to like the Democrats for what they've done. I haven't ever claimed that they're being treasonous to the country. I think they've gone way too far on the Russia collusion thing. And hopefully this events will make them realize that instead of obstructing the president and his policies, we'll just move on to something else and hopefully do something better for the country. Because that's not what they're doing right now. And I've been thinking for a long time, because I just came back from our little vacation, and I wanted to do something there, but I couldn't really do it. Our Wi-Fi was sucky. We were at the top of the mountains there. I would like to see you, or I'll be able to show you the local scenery, but I couldn't do that. Because a lot of things have happened, the more terrorists and all that stuff. And I saw something yesterday about what the problem is in the United States, and I think it came from like 10 years ago when they started talking about this, or maybe it was like 15 years ago, and it happened to be from a China's person, or was it Japan? I will find out the information because Black Pigeon Speaks did a video on it today, and I'll put it below so you guys will know what I'm talking about, and how American and the West in general don't hate their enemy. And because the fact we continually put things out, love is better, and love hates or stops Trump and all this stuff, that we're humanizing our enemy instead of realizing that we have to hate them in order to defeat them. And what happened today, I disavow anybody doing that on either side. The fact that he apparently drove all the way over there. If he was on vacation in the Washington, D.C. area, a couple years ago I went there. But I think that the guy probably staked it out and waited for his time. He had his guns with him. And strange that he has the Second Amendment to go up there and be violent with his First Amendment rights, I guess. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Well, anyway, this Chinese person, Chinese or Japan, I'd have to look at who this is. He is like a professor at the economic college in London. He's had issues. People don't like what he talks about race or anything like that. But he talked about this, and so I'll put it below so you can look at that. And also, that's something we need to realize as well, that there is an enemy out there, regardless of what we have today with that the one shooter today. The overarching issue is Islam. And the idea that Islam there's no moderate part of it, and that is something that had to look at as an enemy for us, or we're going to be like Europe. And people talk about in a couple of years that Europe's going to be an Islamic state. The problem is Canada will probably be there as well, and Canada's right next to us now. Clearly, you don't have a whole lot of people there, but if they're that close to us, we're going to have every week we're going to have real terrorist type of activities. So Trump needs to keep pushing and stop the courts when it comes to his ban. and move on from there. So that's all I have right now. If you have any comments below, anything you want me to talk about in the future, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.